Hello there, everybody, and welcome to the stream. TADA! Stream number 3. Thank you for joining us. I'm just going to have a quick check. All the audio levels should be fine. No more technical difficulties. That should be out of the way. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Today, my co-host, not guest, co-host, Mark, is just below me. And tonight, we're going to be talking all about drone news stories for the week. So, Mark, would you like to introduce yourself? Say a little bit about your channel, mate, and I'm just going to address everybody in the chat.
Absolutely. Hello, my name is Mark. My channel name is actually Centroid. Used to be Centroid Aerial Images. Has since changed since I've kind of crossed over to the dark side. Yes, I've been featuring a lot more FPV videos since I started it, and that's pretty much it. Aerial photography and FPV is the name of the game.
Yes. I'm just saying hello to everybody in the chat. Let me just finish up with that. There we go. YouTube tag feature in the chat is very handy. I'll run through that really quick. Talia Pratton was in. That's my younger sister. Tomorrow going to Leeds, you know what I mean? See all my family and all that lot. So she's excited to see me. Hen Karen's in the chat. We'll get to her in a minute. Right. Hello, Hen. I hope you're well. Centroid's also in the chat, you know. So if you haven't subscribed to him, the link to his channel's in the description, or you can check out the chat and find him on there. Desmond Donders, I hope you're well. I hope I just pronounced that right. White Rose Adventures, good to see you, buddy. Eagle VP, tell you what, man, it was a good meet up on Saturday. Thank you for joining us. I hope everybody is well.
I have to warn everybody, Steve's in rare form tonight. He's been bursting at the seams to do this, so just fair warning.
I really have. Desmond Donders. Thank you. You now are blue, right? I didn't want you to feel left out. Jeanette Pickering, thank you for joining us. We're just going to keep rolling with this tonight. We've got loads of good drone news stories for you. Mark's just give me a little heads up about what he's got cooking. And I've got mine open, ready to share with you as well. So, that's all good. Love my drones. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining us.
Also known as the Flying Lunatic.
Yeah, so how is everybody in the chat? Please just put a hello, whatever. Let us know how you're doing. You know what I mean? We do like to interact with people in the chat. Bear in mind, on the streams, we try not to use swear words, but if a swear word slips out, don't be mad at us. Most people in the daily life swear anyway. It's nothing shocking, but we try and keep these streams family friendly anyway. You know what I mean? No matter how heated and whatever I get, you know. I get a bit riled up sometimes at some of these drone stories.
I warned you, folks. I warned you.
Yeah, I am bursting at the seams to get this done because there's one particular story which I'm going to start with after our little, opening stream banter. You know what I mean? I am bursting at the seams to cover this. Love My Drone says... Oh, no, sorry. Desmond Donder says can't stay long. That's absolutely fine. I'm just looking through. Love My Drone says I'll try and contain myself. I'm trying to contain myself. You can tell.
Yeah,
you can
he's
tell.
usually good. He's good. He's good.
You can tell. Mars
Hey.
FPV, thank you for joining
What's up,
us.
Mars?
Yeah, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. So, this week, we have drone news stories. We're on episode number 3, right?
Season 1.
Yeah. If anybody who hasn't seen one of these streams before, please just note that every week the stream destination changes. So 1 week it'll be on my channel, the week after it'll be on Mark's channel. If you haven't subscribed to Mark, aka Centroid, his link is in the description down below. I'm going to keep plugging Mark's channel because he is awesome. I can't say it any better than that. So let's just take a second to discuss the newish with the inverted commas, stream mascot, right? So, Centroid, would you like to give a welcome to the stream mascot?
Oh, well, I mean, she is just a wonderful old bird. Hen Karen has joined us. She is our official mascot. She's fashionably donning her Fat Sharks goggles. She is whooping it up currently, not very proficient, but she hopes to be flying a 4-inch or a 5-inch quad in the near future. Not one of mine, though.
No. And so far, there's only one video on her channel. Go visit that channel. Watch the video. Just give her some kind of encouragement. And the best way to do that is just give her some clucks in the chat. So, just stick a cluck in the chat for the hen. Do you know what I mean? And she will be encouraged to eventually put out another video at some point. Jeanette Pickering says, have you got a new beard? Technically, yes. That's Hen Karen right there. And Hen Karen will be... I'll do my best to make sure she is visible throughout the entire stream for everybody who likes her enough. Oh, yes.
Hey,
that
we're
is
getting
the
clucks, finally.
That is the record amount of clucks we've ever had. The most before that has been 1. Tonight, we've got 2.
Yes.
Not including the hen herself. Right?
Hen's been popping up in other people's live streams asking for clucks.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, where was she the other night? She was in Adam's Apple, and she only got a cluck out of me, you, and Lauren. It was a shame. Nobody welcomed her as much as I thought she would. She would be welcome. So, well, cluck it up. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, be careful. Cluck does rhyme with one of the words we're not going to use on the stream.
Yes.
So
Let's try not to. Oh, I was just about to say it, and I've read the chat. Love my drones. You beat me to it there. That's a good one. I like that.
Cluck
Let's try not to cluck it up. Okay, mother cluckers.
I guess some of us could call it we two a pair of mother cluckers. Sure, sure. I can work with that.
Jeanette Pickering thinks she's just laid an egg. Oh, dearie me. Right, are we going to get into drone news stories right away?
That is the point. That is the point, I guess.
We've had nearly 8 minutes of rambling now, although it's been fun. I want to get into some drone news stories. Are you game?
Yes, sir.
My goodness, there's a lot of clucks. Okay, thank you, everybody. Thank you. Cluck away in the chat as much as you like, you know what I mean? That's all good. Okay, so the story I want to cover most this week is of, and hopefully all of the audio settings are going to be just fine on this. Just say my mic real quick, Centroid. We're having a little running joke before the stream. Wow, that is extremely loud. I'm going to leave it as it is, though, to be fair, because it sounds about all right. Okay, so the story I've got for you this week, I've got several, of course, but in the UK, there is a dam that was originally built in 1820 called Whaley Bridge, and, I am going to tie this into the drone thing. Essentially, there was a month's worth of rain in 24 hours, and a section of the dam is close to collapse, and underneath it is like an entire township of like 6,000 people. The RAF has been called in. Government bodies have been swarming all around it. The Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, has shown up, do you know what I mean, to give his opinion on things. And essentially, I know there is official drone flights taking place. They have been urging people not to fly drones near Whaley Bridge. They are flying RAF Chinooks all around the site and dropping sandbags on the dam. So do not fly there, please. And the reason why I say this is because people have been, and they've also been posting footage. There's also footage, legitimate footage of police, whatever, and they've actually started to use police drones on site. Do you know what I mean? To cover the empty houses, to stop break-ins. That's on the next tab. But this is covering the dam story as it is. Look, showing what the civil engineering teams are doing. And they're the sandbags being dropped in. You can see just how many people are there all concerned. And in this dam is 6 million tons of water. And what you don't see behind the camera at this point is that it's an entire township. But you can tell from that strut that it's probably an Inspire or an M200. But, you know what I mean? Or a Matrice, possibly. I'm going to put this link in the chat and say hello to a few more people in the chat, actually. What is your thoughts on this so far, Max? I've been telling you about this for the past couple of days.
Well, I mean, it's a horrible situation. I mean, the dam is old, as you mentioned, I believe, and I feel really bad for the people in the town. But as far as the people flying drones, when they specifically stated, "Please don't fly drones," you see the Chinook helicopters flying there. Now, do I think an Inspire is going to do much to a Chinook? No, but it can interfere with their operations, and you never know. Whatever happens, it's just follow the rules, people. I mean, this is nothing to be messing around with. Just to get that one shot with a drone isn't worth it.
Yes, and I have actually got the drone footage that somebody posted on Facebook, and I'm going to show that on stream. I'm just going to flick over to that, and I know you can see this. I can't actually post a link to that just the way Facebook works, but I'm going to show it on stream. This is the original poster, and as I've already detailed in previous streams, the Facebook drone community does get very toxic. You can just imagine this is not any kind of legal or sanctioned flight from the information I can find, but I mean, just watch this clip as it progresses and you'll see why they don't want people flying there. There is a constant RAF operation to try and bung the hole in the dam, and obviously on the screen capture, the window capture that I've got on the go, you'll see in a second. Obviously right now I'm playing the video fully through because, I mean, when you actually see the Chinook arrive, there we go. You can actually see it arriving there. And the police are urging people not to fly the drones. The police are there with drones. They are coordinating with the RAF. There's also a load of civilian groups which are coordinating with the RAF. But from what I can tell, this is a hobbyist who posted the footage of this flight. You can see that on stream, can't you, Mark?
Mm-hmm. I'm watching it right now.
That is far too close to an actual manned aircraft.
Yes, way too close.
And if I am wrong, I will apologise. But if that is an unsanctioned flight that's not cleared by anybody, it doesn't look like it's serving any purpose other than filming the dam and the Chinook shows up, right? Mm-hmm. If I'm wrong, I will apologise, but you shouldn't be flying there. Right.
No, you got an aircraft in the area. I don't care when we're flying either a photo drones or even FPV. When I'm with my buddies flying, airplane starts coming over. Everybody says ground it, land it. Even the FPV, we're not going that high. We just don't. Why take the chance? You just wait till they pass, give them some time, then go back up in the air. There's no reason to be doing that. It's just, and this is the reason why we have so many darn laws on the books now, and they're going to get tougher because of chuckleheads like this.
Yeah, and the video carries on. I mean, that aircraft was seen at around the 40-second mark, and I mean, there's 2 or 3 minutes where it's still staying in the air. If you see an aircraft that is coming in low, it's your responsibility to do your best to get as low as possible, land your craft, get out the way of that aircraft. This guy does not seem to be taking them precautions at all.
No.
I'm trying to auto-play a video as it's coming up there. I'm just going to address the chat because I have been on a bit of a rant there. Pixie's channel says, very naughty flight. Yes, I'd agree. And like I said to you before, the drone community is a very good community, unless it's on Facebook, and then you get literally streams of comments. This is not what we need to do. People need educating, not shouting at. Do you know what I mean? Love My Drone says common sense isn't so common, especially these days. Jeanette says not very sensible under the circumstances. And from what I can tell from when this was dated on Friday, this was like a day into the police urging people not to fly drones around here. Just because, I have no idea where that music's coming from.
You still there, Steve?
Yeah, 1 second. I'm getting some technical difficulties. I have no idea why that happened. Let me just re-initialize audio. All of a sudden there was a wedding march. That was where a video on another tab of mine auto played. I do apologise for that. It was, from what I can tell, it's not copyrighted or anything. So hopefully I don't get slammed for it. Pixie at one point said he heard it was done with the Mavic 2 zoom and he zoomed in. But even then, that Chinook might not have gone that way. It might have headed straight towards the drone. Don't fly near aircraft. Please, I mean, I'm just begging you. Don't fly near Whaley Bridge, as tempting as it is. And that video that was there, I'm not willing to now use any of this from this site, playing any videos or anything. But there is a little bit of positivity for it, and that is essentially the police are now using drones over the town of Whaley Bridge, because obviously it's a town of 6,000 people, and I think nearly 1,500 people, I'll just highlight there, have been evacuated, and essentially the police are now patrolling with drones. Now, what makes me laugh is that even though this is completely legitimate police use of drones, the picture they've included on the actual article features a drone with a jumbo jet in the background, just to at least have that creeping sense of terror. You know what I mean? Even when it's a very positive story about the use of drones, they still try and give it them connotations, and I don't like that. Right,
it's
so
stacking the deck.
So bad man with the drone flying near Whaley Bridge, near that Chinook. Unless that was a legitimate flight, which I will apologise for naming you. Please don't fly there again. Nobody else fly near Whaley Bridge unless you've been fully sanctioned and approved to do so. If I'm wrong on any of that, please let me know. I will apologise on the next stream, right? Because I have to let people know when things are going good or bad, right? So, yeah. What's your thoughts on this then, Mark? Come on, mate.
Don't fly when there are planes or helicopters up in the air. It's simple. It's just, I mean, it doesn't get any simpler than that. I don't understand why people just have to do the wrong thing. I think they want that one shot that's going to get them tons of views on YouTube or something. I don't know. It's not worth it.
Yes, indeed. Paul Michael DB has just entered the fray in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Always a pleasure. One day I might whoop you at SmackDown, but we'll save that.
Here it goes.
We'll save that for another stream. Okay. There we go. Look, I'm just catching up on the chat. It's right there. Sorry about the wedding march sound clip. That was completely unintentional, and I tried to remedy that as fast as possible, which, hopefully I won't get a copyright strike for that. Essentially, I did get a copyright strike, though, for the last stream with that one little sound clip of the news build-up. That's fine. So
supposedly came from a royalty-free website, so people be careful when they say it's royalty-free. It's not a guarantee.
Well, royalty-free means you can use it without paying them anything. But if it's found to be on something that could be monetized, they'll claim the monetization for it.
There you go.
Lesson learned.
Yes.
Nobody owns what I do. That was like a 1 hour 15-minute stream, and for like a 40-second clip of generic music. Do you know what I mean? If that stream actually was monetized, they'd get all that money. YouTube system seems a little bit broken. That's for another stream. Right, Mark.
Okay.
Next story, mate. Are we having it?
Yes, I'm going to start off with a decent one too. So are we good? You got me up?
Yes.
So let me post the link in the chat before I forget, because I'm very bad at that. So this article I found, always looking for positive uses of drones. Basically, a company called Atlas teamed up with the Rio de Janeiro military police, and they instituted what is apparently on record as the first ever what they call mesh observance of a sporting event, major sporting event. In fact, they used this Atlas drone, actually more than one drone. When they say mesh, I'm assuming they call it a swarm, if you will. And basically, it was for the Copa America soccer tournament. And these drones are fairly, they seem phenomenal. In fact, I'll play a little clip of the patterns that they run. Let me turn the sound off in case you picked that up. Now, basically, these drones were used to monitor what was going on for safety and security reasons around this soccer tournament. Not that anything bad ever happens at soccer tournaments, right, Steve? I mean,
yeah.
Who would ever expect something
not
like
in
that?
the UK, no, not by any stretch. No riots or fires or anything, you know.
But
Okay.
what's amazing about this system, and there's no price point that mentioned in the article that I could see. Obviously, it's commercial. It's a commercial system. I don't think you'd see people, general population like hobbyists like us, using them. But basically, you could have one or multiple drones flying at once, and they're all controlled by one station and one person. And so you have all eyes in the sky. I hate to be cliche about it, but these things can run up to 50 minutes and have a range of 10 kilometers. And they have a kind of what I found interesting was a hot swapping system where basically, as one drone ran low on battery, another one would automatically take off, assume the position of the other drone where it left off in its search pattern. The other one would return home for fresh batteries. And it's just another, and it can be, it's a totally, they call it semi-autonomous, which means that, it's somewhat controlled by a person, but it's also fully autonomous. But it's just an amazing system, and you're just starting to see more and more use, at least positive use, I'd like to think, of these drones in helping keep the public safe in certain events, such as a sporting event. And again, anybody who flies 107 or any drone, you're not supposed to be flying over any stadiums, but in this case, it's sanctioned and it's for security reasons, and they have control of the skies.
Okay.
It's just another.
Two quick questions, if I can cut in. Number one is, have you seen the clip of that Inspire covering the football game, and someone throws the toilet roll at it?
Yes,
it lands in the crowd.
God bless him. Well, not God bless the fact that an Inspire goes into the crowd, but whoever was flying that, I'm assuming it was not supposed to be flying. It wasn't like the event.
I think
organizers.
It might have been covering the game legit, because I mean,
how
would anybody get away with flying an Inspire inside a football stadium?
Oh, come on, people get away with. Try to get away with crazy things. Yeah. Well, then I retract that statement. It's a shame that somebody took it out of the sky if it was supposed to be actually covering it, which is why I would think that, why would you use that? Why don't you just get yourself a Mavic 2 Zoom and zoom in on areas so you can stay away from the crowd? And I didn't know if you knew this. A lot of the major news agencies, at least in the U.S., have converted all their large fleet to smaller drones, such as the Mavic 2 Zoom, for that purpose, portability, and the ability to zoom in, so they don't have to get as close to.
Let's be honest. This is a drone news stream, but the Mavic series of drones is amazing.
It's steadfast. It is. It's dependable. It's small. Yeah, it could have hurt somebody flying out of the sky, but not like a Matrice with 3 cameras mounted to it, for crying out loud. It's like,
And question number 2 then would be: so the operator operates one drone, but then there is a swarm of other drones.
He, from what I'm gathering, and if you read it carefully, basically he's at a control station. I don't believe he's sitting there manually moving sticks like you would a drone. He's actually controlling it via GPS and essentially coordinating flight patterns, probably pre-planned flight patterns, and he's just monitoring their positions and making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And I'm sure he can recall them at any point in time if he thinks there's an issue with one of them not behaving properly. But essentially, he can control one, or he can have, how should I say, he can oversee a fleet of them apparently as they're doing their search pattern. And it only takes one person to do that, which I find amazing.
Yes, indeed. That's really good. And once again, it's another one of those positive uses of drones, which doesn't get headline attention, but it is one of the stories that we like to cover because, only headlines will grab attention. You know what I mean? They're the only stories that will trend. They're the only stories that will be on the front page of newspapers. What we're trying to do on these streams is to actually bring to light the lesser known drone stories, where positive stuff does happen. Don't get me wrong, we will condemn anybody flying illegally, right? There is grey areas, don't get me wrong. Some people don't quite fully know the rules. It's our job to try and educate these people on the rules, right? That's the best way I can put it, right?
Yeah.
Never scream and shout at anybody that they're not flying correctly. Just do your best to pull them to one side. Be pleasant. Be nice. You know what I mean? That's what we do. But if it comes to people needing to be called out, that's what we have to do. Do you know what I mean? We have to point them out and try and educate them people like the Whaley Bridge flyer. Like I said, if I'm wrong on that, wholehearted apology. If I'm not, I stick by my convictions. Right? Okay,
and Mars puts a good point. He goes that anything over 250 grams has the potential of killing you, whether it's a Matrice or a Mavic. So, I mean, anything falling out of the sky has that potential, no doubt. So that's why we follow the rules. And one last thing before we put this one to bed, I left the picture of the supposed drone that they're using, the Atlas drone. I don't know if you notice, it's only got 3 props, which is probably why it has such good battery life.
Yeah.
So I find that interesting that this is the first commercial use of a drone that I've seen with only 3 props as opposed to 4 or 6 or 8.
If this is some kind of drone swarm in a way, then obviously it's AI controlled.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And obviously aerodynamic instability controlled by AI is extremely effective. Right, hence why a lot of the world's most powerful fighter jets couldn't fly without supercomputers. They're just not aerodynamically stable, but it lets them pull ridiculous stall maneuvers and high-powered banks and things like that are controlled by computers.
I guess that's why they referred to this as semi-autonomous, where you can take some control, because I have no idea, I've never tried it, how stable it would be to fly a 3-prop drone, although they actually have 3-prop drones that people have made and worked with, but again, I don't know how stable they are, how easy they are to fly.
Yeah, man. Anything more to add on that story, mate?
How about yourself? I'm good.
I think I've asked all the key questions that I have anyway.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okie dokie, right, we'll switch over. This is just a quick story I want to cover next. You ready for this, mate? I'm getting ready for the switch. Shazam. And last time I said we're having no technical difficulties, I had an internet blackout for 2.5 hours. So, yeah, I'm not going to say that. Although everything does seem to be working normal. So the story is that Spain's traffic authorities will launch their second summer operation from the 1st of August this year and will intensify the use of drones to monitor traffic and catch those who violate traffic regulations. I'm going to put the link in the chat. Now, I think everybody who's ever flown a drone in semi-seriously, trying to get into it, we always knew that the usage of drones by law enforcement was going to increase. If it's for a noble purpose by law enforcement, that's okay, because you do get idiot drivers. I have put the link to this article in the chat, So for anybody who wants to go and have a look, at the minute we have 14 people watching. I'd like to address everybody. Thank you for joining us right now. I'm trying to keep up with the chat as well and, address the appropriate comments, what we're talking about. Say hello to everybody in the chat, meet new people. I'm always keen for people to meet other people, you know what I mean? This is a very long article. It's mainly the routes and roads that are going to be affected. And essentially, this is just covering that. So what are your thoughts on this, Mark? I know that was a lot to digest, what I've just covered there in the space of 3 minutes. But what's your thoughts?
I'm cool with it. I mean, you're talking about the police and law enforcement using drones more frequently. Is that what you're referring to, or are you talking about everybody in the chat?
Yeah, in the grander scale of things. Yeah. What's your thoughts on the increased use of drones by law enforcement for things like traffic and things that aren't necessarily what's seen as like life-threatening? Or...
Oh yeah, no. I think it's good. I mean, I'm going to play devil's advocate on this one. One could think that doing this is taking jobs away from certain people because you can do more with less in terms of doing the mundane stuff, if you will. But having the drones and having experienced operators is always good because they can be used in certain circumstances where you don't want to put somebody at risk. I mean, my old hometown, I've been trying to find the article, and I'm going to have to ask somebody from my hometown to send it to me, or at least a link to it. They actually were able to apprehend I think, I don't want to say it was a robbery suspect. He'd gotten away and went into the woods, and they spotted him with a flare camera and a drone, and they were able to nab him. So, I mean, there are all kinds of things that I think are good uses of them. Now, I guess you could get a little into the conspiracy and say, well, are they going to be spying on us? Until they have completely soundproof or soundless props, I don't think they're going to be doing any stealth observation. But we can go all over the place with this. But yeah, I'm all for it. I think if it helps them get their job effectively done, and with no question, have at it.
And I think that rounds up this article fairly well.
Yeah.
Very nice. Are we ready to move to the next one, Mark?
Yeah, well, this one is not so much a news article. It was just something I found interesting. It's a piece of technology that I found that I'll never get, but I think is phenomenal, and just goes to show you that the technology is getting really, really, really impressive. I never knew anything about it. I mean, I know about these drones, these autonomous drones they call them selfie drones. You can buy them. They're relatively expensive. They launch right out of your hand. They follow you. They take pictures and video and stuff. Well, there's this one particular one called Skydio Drone, R1. This company put this thing out, I think it was last year, and they only made a certain number of them. Their philosophy was, we're going to make them, see how they do, sell them. Oh, let me put the link in the chat. Sorry. And they're not going to be restocking them, not because they're not good, but because they are that good. They didn't want to see, their theory was they didn't want to see these things starting to clog up the shelves of Amazon and stuff. So their theory was, instead of making more of these, they're just going to go on to the second generation of it and improve the technology. So they're going to be coming out with their version 2. And let's put it this way. This thing is completely autonomous. It doesn't even come with a joystick. There's a picture of it right there. I'll put it back up there. It doesn't even come with a controller. You can, if you really feel the need to have some control over it, you can use an app on your phone with Wi-Fi. But this thing launches out of your hand, and it doesn't guarantee, but compared to other selfie drones like this on the market, almost guarantees it won't crash into anything because it has, get this, over a dozen sensors on board.
Okay.
And they have this is supposedly, and I'll run the clip. This is supposedly sample footage of what this drone can do. Now I'll set it up for you. If you look carefully at the picture there, you see a couple of dirt bike riders going, and this is supposedly what the new Skydio...
Make sure to mute that audio, mate.
Yep. This is completely autonomous, the way this thing is following this bike. Now look at all the trees it's going through, and it even kind of does a spin.
It almost looks like autonomous FPV.
It almost, yeah, it almost looks like somebody flying an FPV drone. This thing is completely autonomous, and you can set up for all different types of flight modes. Now, one thing I didn't mention was the price point on this thing. The version 1, get this, $2,499 US. You're paying for a lot of
That
technology.
pains me.
So yeah, so for the general hobbyist like myself, no way would I feel the need to buy it. If you want to give me one, I'll take it. but
Yeah.
but I don't see the need to buy one for myself. But they're challenging, or their claim is you're going to get professional quality videos with this thing because of the way it can behave, perform, and take pictures. And for the life of me, in the article, I didn't see what the camera was rated at, but I can only imagine it's at least 1080p, possibly even 4K potential. And with speeds like this, you got to be talking at least 60 frames per second. That is my suspicion, but I've yet to know for sure. Now, they don't have this on the market yet, but we'll see. And I don't even know what the new price will be for the new one. But if you're looking for the version 1, they say you're going to have a hard time finding it because they stopped making it to start making these.
And just for the record, just to clear things up, this is promotional footage by the company.
Yes.
Let's hope there's no copyright strikes.
Yep.
This is indirectly promoting their product.
Yes. So
and
everybody go buy the
it's giving
Skydio.
it a different spin. We're giving commentary on it. Fair use comes into play. If I get a copyright strike for this, I'm not going to be happy. Right?
I'm sorry, Steve.
No. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
But again, it is a promotional video. It even says Skydio 2 test footage, and if it helps, everybody go buy one.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
And a link to the store, please, Mark. No,
yes. Well, there's no store that I know of. I'm sure it's going to be available at Amazon and all your major companies. But yeah, there's another picture of it at least following, and it's all different types of flight modes.
Now, I remember seeing several drone prototypes, these selfie type drones, where some of them was on string, right? And then that got round the entire where you can and can't fly thing because it's tethered. You know what I mean? And
really?
Yeah. I'll save that for next week.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I'll show a clip of that, like a demonstration video of it, like a selfie drone. Do you know what I mean? That is on a string, and it's like one of them dog leads where you let it out with your finger. Do you know what I mean? So you can let it out really, really far, and then you can reel it in as well. You know what I mean? And it's only a little thing with like a camera, and the camera auto fixes on you.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if it captures the string in the picture. That'd be lovely.
Well, if you're looking straight down a line of string that's like almost like fishing line.
It's probably fishing line.
It's gonna be like pretty much invisible anyway, isn't it? We've got a little bit going on in the chat. I'm just going to address some of these things. There we go. Look, something about explosion-proof stuff. White Rose Adventures says, loving the drone description. Battery explosion-proof bag. That's reassuring. Mars FPV says, LiPo battery safety bags will stop a fire. Essentially, a lot of these drones run on what are called LiPo batteries, which are volatile, especially when they're fully charged. Most of the drones these days have like built-in like onboard circuitry on the battery itself to maintain and manage the different cell levels and whatnot within the batteries. But it is recommended when you're traveling with them, especially to keep them in these like LiPo safe bags, because I've seen plenty of pictures of entire like insides of people's drone cases that have just gone boom. And it's a good job they've been in the case, but it's took a drone with it. And these LiPo fires don't need oxygen. It's like an acid chemical fire. So it's a combination of both. I just thought I'd address that in the chat. The LiPo safe bags are resistant to all of that heat, the chemicals and the acids and all that lot. But never throw away a drone battery in your general rubbish. Okay.
Especially in a compactor.
No. Take them to a designated you know what I mean, spot for them. And all you need to do is take it to somewhere that recycles batteries. Just take that to them and just go, it's a LiPo battery. Just let them know, and then they'll deal with it accordingly. Okay, if the battery swells, heat damage, not charging properly, or you just want to get rid of it because it's inefficient. They only have so many charges, you see, you know, so.
And I don't know about in the UK. I believe Home Depot and Lowe's has a way of returning lipos, because they, you know, all of their batteries that they use on their, you know, their drills and such, cordless drills. I'm not saying they're lipo. I don't think they're lipo, but I think they have ability to receive bad batteries, and they'll take care of them for you. But I'm going to double check on that. It's what I've heard. I haven't checked on it yet because I got a couple batteries I need to dispose of myself. So.
Okay, for everybody still in the stream, feel free to shout us out wherever. For everybody who's here, thank you for joining us. Just looking right now for my next news story. If you're done with that one, mate, is that all good?
I'm all good.
Okay, just before we do that, I am going to switch to this one, and I'm going to promote. There we go. I'm just trying to line it up on OBS. There we go. Hen Karen, if you've not subscribed to her so far, she's in the chat right now, and the link to her channel is in the description. Her first video is hilarious. Please check it out. Well, hilarious by what definition, but that's all good. And if she gets enough subs, she's already told me she will be making more videos.
Yeah, did you notice what she said there, Steve? Just pointing that out to you. I don't remember agreeing to that, but apparently you have a side deal.
No, we might have to find a new mascot because this one's turning foul. I know, you saw it coming.
This is where I wish I had one of those chickens that went.
Wow. Yeah, indeed. Okay. I know, I've completely destroyed the momentum there, but that's all good, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Come on, we like having a laugh. That's what we do. You know what I mean? Anthony Schaus, thank you for joining us, mate. I'll just put an hello in the chat there for you. Anthony, there we go. All sorted. Thank you for joining us. And also, you've just turned blue. Hey! We were just talking about our new mascot, Hen. If you see her about in chat, you know, in the chat or whatever on any stream, let her know to say hello, you know what I mean? Just go, hello, Hen. I hope you're doing all right. Mother Hen, I hope you're doing well.
And she has, like I said, she's appeared on other live streams, and people have suspected her to be affiliated with another channel. That is not true, and she is not a troll.
Nope. The Hen is not a troll, not affiliated with any channel other than Mark's channel and my channel. No ties to anything else, okay?
That is it.
Yeah. Hello there, Rojo Droner. Thank you for joining us. You know what I mean? Been covering some good stories. If you are interested in hearing about some of them.
Rojo is Juneau County Droner who's changed his name. That is Rob. So glad you could join us, Rob.
Yeah, man. Thank you for joining us. Right there. Love My Drone says, oh, Centroid, you didn't get footy off your quad sticking up out of the mud, but Fairball got the footy of you planting it up in Canada, lol.
Yes. I forgot the title of it. He says Centroid planting the fields of Canadian drone hub. Apparently, hold on for a second. Dogs are barking. I did flying through some gates. I did do a power loop and didn't pull up in time, and I literally stuck the drone straight into the ground. And he's got footage of me doing the walk of shame.
Oh,
Little does he know I have plenty of footage of him doing the walk of shame, and I will be posting that when I get to it.
Yes. Right then, I have got my other drone news story behind the scenes. I'm going to switch to that now. And for this one, this is a 10 times drones were used for good. And I'm going to read real quick just a little bit of each of these articles. You know how I do. I don't like to read the entire thing. But what I do like to do is kind of, you know, paraphrase, you know, as we go through. I'm not going to dwell on every single article. So number one is when a man uses drone to save his children from a shark. A father taking aerial drone shots of his children swimming at the beach in Florida captured a terrifying and unexpected shark headed straight towards them. Luckily, he was able to alert his children with enough time for them to escape onto dry land. There is the full story. I did give that a read, and he basically sort of, with the drone, sort of notified him to sort of look at him, essentially, and he went in, waded in, you know what I mean, to bring him out. Number 2 is when drones helped battle the Notre Dame fire. Now, this is a video. I'm not going to be baited into playing that video because it's obviously a YouTube link, and then I'd get in trouble. Yeah, but 2 drones were deployed by the Parisian Fire Brigade, thought to be a Mavic Pro and a Matrice 210, to deliver video footage in real time. Heroic firefighters were able to coordinate their efforts and apply the right tactics and put out the fire. That's a whole another story in itself, the Notre Dame fire, and don't make me put my tinfoil hat on. Not just yet anyway. If anybody in the chat wants to see another tinfoil hat stream, a send off to it, just let me know. Okay, and I might be able to facilitate. And I remember this other story, number 3, when a police drone located a car crash victim in a 6-foot ditch in Lincolnshire. Lincolnshire's my home county, so I did hear about this one when it happened. A man crashed his car in freezing nighttime temperatures. He was saved from hypothermia when he was found by a police thermal imaging drone. We conducted extensive searches in the police vehicles. Obviously, we are very rural and it was dark, so you're limited in what you can see. It was eventually a drone that located the man, and officers were then able to retrieve him from the ditch and take him to hospital for treatment. What are your thoughts on this so far, Mark? These are very positive stories, right?
Extremely positive. In fact, I have a story that kind of can piggyback on that. I might as well do that one after we're done with this. But yeah, amazing that these things are being used for what they're being used for. And it's just a shame that you don't see this in headline news. I mean, at least, this isn't a perfect world. When you hear one bad drone story, it'd be nice if they threw one positive one there to balance it out a little bit. But, news likes drama. So you'll never see the good stuff, just the bad stuff.
Yeah, man. I'm just replying. So do I. I think you know. I think you know. I'm replying to there.
Yes, I do.
I do apologise if my eyes are all over the place. The TV screens. I'm not kidding. This entire wall of my room is now screens with everything on it.
What? Right, no control room shot of everything, Steve?
No,
from behind,
no,
so we can
no,
see the whole.
No shot like I'm not naming names. No, there's no shot like that. Okay. Number 4 is when drones help build a suspension bridge in China. You know what I mean? That's where drones were used to carry the first cable between support towers. That's another one. Drones were deployed to explore dangerous mines in Africa. Another one, you know what I mean? Providing rapid visual access, multiple views, and a position of safety. Number 6, when drones battled wildfires in Yosemite National Park.
I remember that.
And I don't think that is the conventional drones that we're thinking of, like the quadcopters. Right. I think that was the military grade, like Raytheon style drones, the military grade ones.
Yeah.
Which is where a lot of people get mixed up, I find.
Yeah.
People think drones and they think of like drone strikes and things like that, don't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas drone applies to any unmanned aerial vehicle, essentially.
It's not always a predator.
Yeah. Number 7, look, when drones delivered emergency blood to doctors in Rwanda. Doctors in Rwanda are now able to order blood and medical supplies by text message and have them delivered by a drone. A company called Zipline have developed a system that catapults drones into the air. The drones travel at 80 miles an hour, releasing their delivery when they get to the destination. I mean, what's not to love about that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Number 8, whale drone. When drones collected whale DNA.
They collect whale DNA?
Yeah, and this is a YouTube clip. I'm not going to play it because I don't want to get cornholed, as it were. In Frederick Sound, a specialist drone, affectionately named as the Snotbot, is busy capturing DNA from humpback whales. This new method of DNA collection aims to be non-invasive for the whale and improve the safety and efficiency of the collection. The drones assist the scientists by waiting until the humpback is about to breach the surface. Then the drone flies directly through the blowhole spray, collecting phlegm on its attached Petri dishes.
Nice. I thought maybe they were doing something else, but I'm glad it's just that.
Mars FPV says he got to see the drone at the Airshow here in Melbourne, Australia, March this year. Just let me know exactly which one you're talking about, mate, 'cause I did cover like 3 stories in quite rapid succession there. Is it the Rwanda drone or the whale phlegm drone? Right. That's the
I wonder who gets to clean that drone off.
I know, yeah. Not something I'd ever thought I'd say in one sentence. That's cool. And I also heard about story number 9 in this. I am trying to get through these fairly quick. I know it's quite a full-on, like, 10-piece article, this one, so I'm trying to get through these. Number 9, when a police drone located a missing Norfolk man. Peter Pugh, 75, became separated from friends during a walk, found himself stuck in thick marsh with water up to his armpits, blah, blah, blah. Found 21 hours later using a police drone. He can't remember the rescue, but his wife commented, the emergency services and technology saved his life. And the sergeant of the Norfolk Police added, there's no doubt that without a police drone, we would not have been able to locate him in the time we did. There we go. So, life-saving. Okay. And real quick on number 10, drones now used to plant trees in the US. Drone Seed, a Seattle-based startup whose mission is a future where technology is solving planet's deforestation problems, where it's in fire environments, using drone swarms, spraying and protecting them. Drone Seed claims that one person operating 15 drones could do the equivalent of 360 manual labour hours of tree planting or spray in a day. That's an estimation from the company, though, so always be wary of that, right? But that's, once again, these are 10 brilliant positive drone news stories. It's not all negative with drones, okay? What are your thoughts, mate? Chip in with any of these stories.
Oh, I'm really going to chip in because I'm going to focus on Zipline because I've got some statistics about what they've done so far. It's just funny how you and I are of the same mind on this. It just goes to show you. I think there's tons more good than bad so far with drones. Nothing substantiated on the bad part, but there's all kinds of evidence of where these things are doing a lot of good things. So, I mean, they're phenomenal stories.
Yes, indeed. And I will repost that link because a lot of these stories have a full article to go with them. So I'm just going to post that again for anybody who wants to take a deep dive into the article. I was literally just skimming the articles essentially, but this is what we intend to do with the stream. Drone news is not doom and gloom. It's very positive, but mainstream media will try and make it doom and gloom. This is what we are trying to negate with the drones. 99.9% of the drone community are law-abiding, well-mannered, good-intentioned people who just want to enjoy the hobby. Everybody else, do you know what I mean? These bad actors, bad seeds, that's the ones that the news will focus upon. That's the mainstream opinion. This is what we're trying to battle right here. The battleground is this stream. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Front lines here, buddy. Front lines.
Yeah. Good. So. Okay, right. I have posted the link to this article, the deep dive. You can read each story fully. This is just like a summary. This is a site called copters.com. I've posted the link. Right, Mark, are you on for your next article, mate?
I sure am. In fact, it was a nice segue, and I posted the link already. Title of the article is called "Drone Rangers: Thousands of Lives Will Be Saved by Drones in the Next 5 Years," and it focuses on that exact company that you mentioned in that top 10 list that you had. And it's basically a company called Zipline. And I don't think this is one of their drones. There's a photo later on, but I don't want to belabor this any more than you've given it credit for. I just want to cite some of the statistics as far as what this company has done in Rwanda. Basically, and I'll just read a couple of them off. As of April 2018, they've been able to they've had 4,000 flights covering 300,000 kilometers and delivering 7,000 units of blood, a total of 25% of the national blood supply outside Rwanda's capital city. 1/3 were a direct response to an emergency situation, and basically that means that without timely, response, the person's life could have been forfeit, if you will. Other things, they've cut delivery time to a consistent 30 minutes or less, increased the number of daily flights from 50 to 500. Basically, they've increased hospital access to blood products by 175%, and thanks to their supply chain, they've reduced waste spoilage by 95% because, of course, blood goes bad. So they're looking, and they're going to be expanding this to delivering to hospitals and anti-malarials, antibiotics, lab reagents, surgical supplies. And last week or the week before, we talked about drones actually delivering organs for organ transplants, because I don't think you can find a faster way to get them there. Let's face it, even in a helicopter, you've got to get a clear flight pass, you got to have a flight plan. You got to get the crew on board. You pop this thing into a drone and off it goes. And I think I'll leave there for a second, is actually one of the drones that they're using. It is not, it's not a Phantom 4, I'm sure. And they're actually going to be expanding this into the U.S., provided the FAA passes and approves, which I can't see why they wouldn't approve it, but it would be a damn shame if they didn't. Just my thoughts.
Well, that ties slightly into the story we had last week of the drone in Switzerland that actually had a built-in parachute system delivering medical supplies, and the drone failed and the parachute failed. So as soon as the safety thing increases, then you'll see a massive increase in drone use. Once this negative perception disappears, you'll see a massive increase in drone use. It's already happening, right? But what's focused on in the media is the one guy flying near Whaley Bridge filming Chinooks, right? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, because that sells. And I want to take a moment, because Lauren's been posting some stuff about Russians catching essentially orca jails. These Russians have been, I guess, harvesting orcas, putting them in small tanks and selling them to China. And there's a good use of drone. I'd love to get my hand on an article that goes over that in more detail. Sniffing out the bad guys who are doing awful things to the environment and to the animals of that environment. So thanks for sharing that. I definitely want to look into that myself.
Lauren, Amy, thank you for sharing with us. Please, I know you're only in the other room, but please, after the stream, I want to see that article. I really do.
Yeah,
okay.
That's an important one. That is definitely
that is a biggie. Killer whales need to be free. There's like a recent law, I believe, in Canada where they ban the captivity of killer whales, I believe. I don't know if you've heard about that, and I might be wrong, but I think that's what somebody told me the other day. Yeah.
And if you've ever seen the documentary Blackfish, it's about the killer whales that they kept them in SeaWorld here in the States, in Florida. It's an awful but important documentary to see about that. So, I'm all about learning about that article, Lauren. So please share that with us.
Yes, indeed.
And Furball Kim just joined us, the man who posted me planting my drone in his fields. Thank you very much, Kim.
Furball. I hope you're well, mate. Thank you for joining us. And I know Furball likes a good cluck in the chat. I'm just going to switch back real quick, promote the hen Karen in the chat. Everybody give a cluck in the chat. Cluck in the chat. Whoa, whoa, whoa. There we go.
There we go.
Oh,
Got a
there
couple.
we go. There we go. Oh,
Even,
we love it.
even
Cluck,
Hens
cluck, cluck,
participating.
cluck, cluck, cluck. Hen Karen. Oh, she is over the moon with the reception. One video. How many subs is Hen on now?
I think she's got 12.
12 subs. Look at that.
I think she's got
12
12
subs in a week. Unheard of. Right.
Nope. She's got 13.
13 subs.
And 25 views on her video.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And Mars was one of them. Hen just said, "Thank you very much, Mars." She's got to catch up on all the comments. I'll get on her about that. She's been having too much fun with her whooping, to be quite honest. So
yeah, man. Mars says Uber Air set to take off in Australia with flying taxi trial in Melbourne. Can I post a link? Yes, indeed. Yes, because if the stories are extremely good, I hope to cover them next week once I've had a good read. So please post the link and I'll tab that up and I'll have a good look after the stream. There we go. Look, I'm just going to tab that up.
I'm doing the same thing.
And I mean, if it's extremely good, it's quite weirdy. I'm going to have to read into this first, but there are unmanned taxi trials already in like Saudi Arabia and things like that, so I'll have a read into that article. I'm just going to stick a bookmark on that real quick, you know what I mean? So next week, that is possibly going to be one of the stories I want to feature. There we go. So on to the next story.
It's you, buddy.
It is me. There we go. Straight on to me then. So Farming UK, I'll post a link. Copy and paste. I don't know if anybody knows this, but there has been a recent spate of illegal butchery of sheep in Northamptonshire. And apparently over 100 sheep have been illegally slaughtered from farmers' fields. And essentially Northamptonshire's police response has been to use drones with thermal imaging, fly no higher than 400 foot, and obviously the operators can monitor huge swathes of fields. When I read this, I was like, that's actually ingenious. Anything that involves aerial shots, there's no need to get a helicopter in the air anymore. Somebody on the ground with a drone can do it. Do you know what I mean? That's what, it's a massive energy saver. You're not sending a huge craft up there. You're not risking people's lives. I mean, anybody who gets into an aerial vehicle, whether it's manned or unmanned, you are risking your life. You know what I mean? Anything can go wrong. From the ground, if your drone falls out of the sky, I mean, if you hit a sheep that's destined to be slaughtered anyway, I mean, what's the harm? That's probably not going to make many vegans happy. But I mean, these sheep are destined to be slaughtered for meat. There we go. Look, farmer Phil Neal, who farms near Crick, told how the incident was the worst thing that his children have witnessed when he discovered the remains of 14 lambs on his land. Yeah. So if you live near Northamptonshire and you see anybody butchering sheep or lambs, get in touch with the police, and be prepared to see some drones. So I'm making light of it a little bit, but that's all good. So what's your thoughts on that, mate?
I wouldn't want to see it, but
no. No.
It's I mean, what was the purpose of posting that video though? Where was it posted again?
Which video? Sorry.
The one of the slaughtered sheep that he saw. The children. Did they see it via the drone footage, or did they walk up on?
No, they saw it in.
They walked up
person.
On it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible.
On the actual stream, you can see the article above, pointing the wrong way. That's only an image, but it gives you an idea. Essentially, this is a shot taken of sheep in fields in East Haddon. Heat sources like animals, people, and roads show up on the camera in yellow. So it shows you where the flock of sheep is, and obviously any heat source that approaches like vehicles or people, it's going to pick them up. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's good.
Okie dokie. Right, Mark, do you have another story for us?
Yeah, I have a slightly negative story.
Okay.
I mean, I'm trying to be fair. There are times where people do stupid things. You started with one, and I'll end my series with one.
Okay.
It's not. I don't think it's as well. Bad as bad, so I'm not going to rate whether it's bad or not. So basically, drone flyer over crash scene interfered with first responders. Apparently, there was a crash scene in Dover, Wisconsin, that was being responded to by first responders via helicopter. And of course, somebody decided they wanted to capture this video with their drone, and it caused problems. So now you're putting not only the helicopter and the pilots at risk, but you're also delaying first response to accident victims. And let's face it, if they're bringing in helicopters, it's bad. So it's just a shame. Several people were actually injured. It was a crash that was between a pickup and a minivan, so there were multiple people involved, and it just goes to show you that people are still capable of doing dumb things. Earlier, Mars commented that people don't use common sense, and as we all know, common sense is not as readily common as we would hope it would be, especially incidents like this. So just a quick little negative story about drones and what you should not do with them. So if nothing else, if we're going to report on this, we're just going to hopefully also re-educate and remind people what they should and should not be doing. So there is a purpose to this than just the drama. It's let's not do this, folks. But on the same page, there's this article I wanted your response to. East, and of course they throw the same image.
It's that shot,
There's that image
it's that
again.
shot, yeah.
The ominous
yeah.
drone in the foreground with the 747 in backgrounds. East Midlands Airport drone sighting, likely a bird, experts say. I just want your reaction on that, because this is actually, I believe, in the UK, is it not?
It is. East Midlands is in the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now that will tie into a little bit of inside information that I have at the minute. Essentially, over 350 different drone near misses in the UK. Recently, the pilots board, Airprox, I believe it's called in the UK, did a full-on investigation to validity of any of that being drones that could be verified in any way, or could have even been, plausible in any way, and it was deemed that none of it was plausible or couldn't be proven in any way. So, you know what I mean? The airport's been shut down for over an hour. Might have been a bird. Probably was a bird. If it's on the takeoff or landing path, I mean, East Midlands is known for ducks, swans. I mean, swans are pretty big. They're white. They can fly at very low speeds, because the swans near where I live, and they can come into land almost like a plane, extremely slowly, and they put the feet out. I mean, if they're hovering at the end of a runway, not hovering, but like flying really slowly, I mean, it could happen, couldn't it? I mean, that's it. Look, scroll down, Mike, scroll down. I can see your screen share, man. Look, first article, drones disrupt flights. So instantly, without verifying it at all, it's a drone. And then straight afterwards, most likely a bird.
Of course, let's blame it on the drones.
And I'm willing to bet in that article it mentions Gatwick.
Now, what is it? We all fly. What were the three classifications of flying drones?
Careless, clueless, and criminal.
Yes, because that's what we all are when it comes to flying drones.
Yeah. Oh, blooming heck. Now, I don't know if you follow the channel XJet on YouTube, Mark.
No, I've watched some things. Yes, I'm not a huge follower, not because I choose not to. Just don't think to go.
Yeah, there was recently a bird strike on a jumbo jet, and it was quite devastating, to be fair. But originally, they actually named it on the news as a drone strike on a plane.
Really?
Yeah, and the entire nose cone had been put through, and the entire bits of bird. And the only reason why the news changed the story is because pictures showed up essentially of blood and feathers all down the side of the plane.
Unless they're packing Phantoms with blood and feathers these days.
I know, yeah, exactly, innit? You know what I mean?
Hey, what a way to defend yourself if you make drones. Let's just put a bag of blood in there and feathers, so if there's ever a drone strike, it's a conspiracy. Drone manufacturers are stacking the deck now so that they can't be blamed. Lord have mercy.
Oh, Christ. But then, yeah, Mars FPV drone, yeah, it did look like a huge pelican had hit the plane. Oh, and I'll tell you
We're all
what,
laughing
I'm
at the
gonna
demise of a poor bird.
I know. Well, I'll look into that article more, and I'll feature the full story on that next week. But that was only yesterday, I believe, and that's yesterday by my current time. I think that happened yesterday. So, you know, I'll look into that. I'll get the articles for the next show on Mark's channel. That's next Wednesday at 11 p.m. UK time and 6 p.m. Eastern time. I just thought I'd give you a shameless plug there, Mark.
Thank you.
That's all good. For anybody who hasn't subscribed to Hen Karen, the link is in the description. She is the new channel mascot. Now, do you have any more stories, Mark?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. I mean, I stock them up, but I mean, we're looking at 10 after. I mean, I can go all night long, but we can save them for next week. We're good.
Well, just a quick mention, just funny story for you, and I'll also bring this up next week. Essentially, Heathrow was closed yesterday. 110 flights were grounded, and also, funnily enough, Gatwick was closed, and they had 12 or 13 flights diverted or cancelled. Guess why? Computer issues.
There you go.
And all the time that Gatwick thing was going on, I was saying, you know what I mean? Heathrow was having computer issues. There was grounding flights. Gatwick had the same computer system put in. They was grounding flights, but they was claiming it was drones. Still no evidence of a single drone. No video footage. No one arrested. No tangible evidence. And guess what? I think the cows are going to come home on this. It is that computer system again. Yeah. But this time, they know not to blame it on drones because of the amount of backlash from drone flyers. Like, we need proof before you start saying this. But the BBC run away with the story. The Gatwick drone attack, you know, they'll name their entire videos and articles that, but then openly admit in the articles there's no evidence there was a drone there. So why keep calling it the Gatwick drone attack? Why not call it the Gatwick computer failure?
Exactly.
I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, Steve, I think we had this discussion, and I think it's true with airlines in the States that if there's a delay or cancellation of a flight due to their error, the company's error, then they have to refund or at least, you know, reimburse you or give you a ticket on another flight at some other point.
Correct.
How convenient is it to be able to say it was a drone and it's outside of our control? That's why your flight's been canceled. Therefore, we don't have to pay you back.
Yes.
Is that possible?
Yeah, no, that is exactly how it happened at Gatwick.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
What a great scapegoat.
At Heathrow, they admitted that it was their new computer system that was put in at Gatwick at the same time. Right? At Heathrow, they admitted it was the computer system. There wasn't as badly as affected, but they admitted everyone got refunds. At Gatwick, not a single person got a refund to the tune of tens, if not hundreds of millions of pounds worth of flights.
Unbelievable.
Right.
All to save a buck. Blame the drones to save a buck.
Blame the drones.
For your own
Blame
problems.
the drones. No, I'm just going to be... Yeah. At Gatwick, they've got computer issues, not drone issues. Right.
No, they have issues, all right.
Yeah. I just thought I'd finish on that because that is a new story that came out yesterday. And like I say, for the stories that have just come out, I have actually had quite a lot on my plate the past couple of days, so I've not had enough time to look into that. I'm not going to report on a story I haven't fully read or fully looked into. That would be irresponsible. So I'll save them for next week. Mark's channel, Wednesday night. Links in the description. If not, catch him in the chat. Subscribe to his channel. Catch us next week. Right, Mark, any closing statements for the good people watching?
Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate your support, and I'm loving every minute of this, and hopefully you folks are enjoying it. And
Yeah,
Hen says hello again, and thanks for joining.
yes, yes. So thank you everybody for joining us. I really hope you're enjoying the new stream format. Just keeping my eye on the chat, on the stream, everything like that. No technical issues tonight. I can say it now. I'm about to press the end stream button. That's all good. Thank you for joining us. Yes, mate.
Yeah.
Go on.
And to be clear, last week we lost your Skype source.
Yes.
And I know there's a lot of talk about Google Hangouts going away and being replaced, and people are saying things about other systems that you can bring people into chat like this. Yes, Skype is I'm not a salesperson for Skype. It's free, but people badmouth Skype because it does use a bit bandwidth. But I don't know about you, Steve. I've never lost a call. That was not Skype's issue.
No, that was my internet service provider's issue. My internet went dark for 2.5 hours.
So if you're thinking about doing streaming and you want to have guests in, don't count Skype out just yet.
Yes.
If you have a decent computer and decent upload speed, then Skype is good. You can bring in multiple sources. Where some of these free or paid services are still limited in how many people you can bring in. So I just want to make sure that, because anytime I say I'm using Skype, they're like, oh, that's garbage. You drop calls all the time. I'm like, no, I don't.
Yeah.
And I just want to make sure everybody in the chat knows that was not a Skype issue.
And you have just reminded me, if anybody does want help with OBS, please, contact me on Facebook. And I've just put what to search on Facebook. It's AVAH space UK on Facebook, AVUK, and it will come up AVUK hyphen aerial views. You'll know it's me. It's got my logo on it. And contact me on there if you've got problems with OBS. We'll arrange some sort of Skype call. If I can help you, I will. And I'll try and diagnose your problems. I'm pretty good at that. On that note, I think it's time to end the stream. I think we've rounded off on a good note there. That's all good. Thank you everyone for joining. Like I say, next week it's on Mark's channel. I've said that 5 times already. And farewell, everybody.
Take care. Thanks for coming.
Have a good night. Thank you for joining us. See you next week.